Yeah, transparency, Clay. You're right. There needs to be a green button, right? There needs to be a green button on the VBA side that just allows you to order this information and have it. I mean, it's all living. It's all digital, right? It's all
Exactly.
tied to you and your social security number. And for the world, Clay is way more nerdy than me, so he understands how easy this could be, and it should be. So I think that I'm gonna play the VAs out to get us card here for a second, which I very rarely ever play ever. Maybe I feel like a conspiracy theory guy now.
I'm so excited for
Maybe,
this.
just maybe. Are you really? God. All right. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Okay, Clay. Maybe, just maybe, the VA wants to make it hard and take a lot of time, so you miss your window to appeal and preserve your effective date.
Maybe,
That saves
maybe.
a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I'm just saying, not just for one person, for hundreds of thousands of people.
hmm I'll
I,
I'll tell you this on transparency, right? If I had transparency for my migraine claim, which came back at 0%, after that CMP exam, by the way, that was with the combative CMP examiner that I had talked about. Had
yeah,
I had the evidence, I went to, the VA's websites. I hit my green button. I was able to see my DBQ.
right.
Had I saw that he recommended 0%, I would have said, "Hey, man, I got records. Like, you obviously one or two things happened, right? You didn't read them intentionally, which is shame if that happened. I'm not saying it did. I think it did, but shame on him if that happened. Or two, you just completely missed it, right? Had I had that evidence right then and there, I could have said, hey, VA, this guy clearly missed something. Here it is. You don't even have to take my word for it. Here's medical evidence." So transparency can be good in that way. As far as the VA's out to get me, I don't. That would be absolutely wild. And I will tell you this. This is outside of VAs. This is kind of supporting what you said, but outside of VA claims altogether, just in general. When someone is not transparent, it's because they're hiding something. Take that for what it's worth. Okay. If I'm ever, for instance, let's talk about my wife. If my wife asks me a question and I tell her like a selected truth, or I'm not fully transparent, because I'm hiding something, right? Maybe I want to go drink with the boys on Saturday. Maybe I slept in. Maybe I didn't change my baby's diaper the last hour that I told her I did. Whatever the case is, when someone's not transparent, it's because they're hiding something. And run with that what you will. And I would like to see more transparency on the VBA side of the house. I understand it's a legal process, an adjudication process, not a healthcare process. But it's not Social Security. It's nothing like that. It's its own beast. There's absolutely no reason the VA should not be transparent. That's my last thoughts on that, unless you want to add to the conspiracy. We're getting a little dark here.
No, I'm not going to add to the conspiracy theory, because I mean, whatever. I'm just trying to play both sides, right? So I don't think that that's the case. I think that oftentimes anything that leads to that sort of feeling or kind of situation from the VA side is, I don't know how to explain it. It's not a government laziness. I think that oftentimes that's what it is. Here's a problem, it's not that big of a deal. Let's move on. So I do want to end this portion here with, I'm absolutely in agreement with you that the VBA needs more transparency to the veteran. After all, the VA, the VBA, the VA as a whole is there for us. If it weren't for us, they wouldn't even exist, right? So same thing with all of our politicians. We would have no politicians if it weren't for veterans, right? Because if we weren't here, there wouldn't be a US. So now, granted, we've walked down the line a ways since then, but you get the point. I think transparency is important. I think that it's an important piece for the entire process of VA claims. And I think that we are collectively, Clay, onto something when we're talking about this green button initiative. And I think that for those of you watching, let's kind of coin that term, the green button, and who knows, maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the road, there'll be a green button in which we can, just at a click of a button, be able to get the information that we need with regard to our claims, because, there's bills out there to address issues within the appeals process, right? So let's swim upstream, and if a veteran can ascertain what they need to do with the information that's already been used so they can then file an appropriate supplemental claim, there's going to be no need to push it to the board. There's going to be no need to deal with any of that, which will create a pullback from the VBA, which then will allow them to, instead of taking 5 years, it'll take them 1 year. Go figure, right? So, but we need to swim upstream, and I think that the green button idea is a great idea, and I'm willing to reach out and have some conversations, and reach out to let's have a single point of contact on the House and the Senate side, and just reach out to the Veterans Affairs committees for both, and let them know that this is something that needs to happen, and it will help fix this appeal process problem as well.
Yeah. I would also like to say to the United States government that Jason and I in Veterans Daily coined the term green button with intellectual property rights. Just FYI. No, I'm kidding.
I love it. God, you are nerdy. I love it. Yes.
So moving on to the third problem, and these last two will be fairly quick, are bad VSOs. Okay. The reason why I say that, and I have a particular question for you, Jason, because you were a county VSO, and I'm very interested into how you're going to answer this. But one poor experience with the VSO can completely turn a veteran off from claiming benefits altogether, if not turn them towards other avenues like claims consulting companies, and we won't even go there. You get the point. Okay. My question for you, because you ran an office of county VSOs, I'm very curious to know, and you don't have to say names or places, did you ever experience a bad VSO that was in your office? How did you handle that? Were they even there in the first place? Did you try and work with that person? I mean, what was that whole